Mngani, welcome back to Zulu Lessons with me, Thando, the place for modern conversational Zulu language lessons. Mngani, let's conjugate this verb, Buza. Buza, that means to ask in isiZulu. So let's start with the present tense, the simple present tense with ya in it. Remember, this one is the one that we use when we are not really expanding on our sentence. We are not saying whatever we are doing. We're not actually telling you who we are doing it or where we are doing it or when we are doing it or any other detail. We're just simply stating that we are doing it. So listen to this. I am asking, you are asking, he or she is asking. That's basically it. Right, now listen. So if you look there, we've got the pronouns in one column, and then in the middle column, we've got the actual full sentence in isiZulu. We've just highlighted the ya so that you can see the difference between these sentences and the ones we'll do next. And then the translation into English, last column. Now, let's go ahead and do this. Ngiyabuza, ngiyabuza. I am asking. Uyabuza, uyabuza, uyabuza. You are asking. Do you hear that u? Now let's hear the next u. Uyabuza, uyabuza, uyabuza. So that's he or she. She's asking. He's asking. Bayabuza, bayabuza, bayabuza. They are asking. And there's a song, Bayabuza Abantu. Okay, I think it is by Mafiso. Nah, I don't know. So, the next one is you all. So, you plural, you all. So, this one is niyabuza, niyabuza, niyabuza. You all are asking. So all of you are asking. Then it's we, siyabuza. So you and I. Siyabuza, siyabuza, siyabuza. We are asking. And then there is this one that is I. This I is basically all the nouns that start with in or im. So the pronoun for them is I. So then we are saying iyabuza, iyabuza, iyabuza. So that can be a he, it can be a she, it can be an it. It depends on you. It can be a, I don't know, maybe imvu, iyabuza. Maybe the sheep is asking why you are not moving out of the way. Or maybe it is the, I don't know, a girl is asking, intombazane is asking, iyabuza. And then we have the last one, ziyabuza, ziyabuza, ziyabuza. So those are nouns that start with izi, I-Z-I or I-Z-I, easy. That's the prefix for those nouns. So when we are now making sentences about them, the subject concord for them is zi. So ziyabuza, they are asking. So those are the present tense or simple present tense sentences. Now let's say we are adding detail to our sentence. Let's say we are saying, I'm asking a question. Because before, we didn't actually say anything. We just said, I am asking. Like, asking what? You're not saying anything. Asking who? You're not saying anything. Now let's say, I'm asking a question. Right? We have detail. A question. So, note this now. Look at the middle column. That middle column doesn't have that ya anymore. Do you see? We've dropped the ya. Now let's look at it. Ngibuza umbuzo. Ngibuza umbuzo. Ngibuza umbuzo. I am asking a question. Ubuza umbuzo. Ubuza umbuzo. Ubuza umbuzo. You are asking a question. Ubuza umbuzo. Ubuza umbuzo. Ubuza umbuzo. He or she is asking a question. Did you hear the difference between the oos Always remember the difference so that you don't confuse people on who you are talking about. And then babuza umbuzo, babuza umbuzo, babuza umbuzo. They are asking a question. And then you all of you, are asking a question. Nibuza umbuzo, nibuza umbuzo, nibuza umbuzo. You all are asking a question. See, all of us, you and I, sibuza umbuzo, sibuza umbuzo, sibuza umbuzo. We are asking a question. Now, there we are again, he, she, or it. These are the nouns that start with the prefix in or the prefix im. Ibuza umbuzo, ibuza umbuzo, ibuza umbuzo. So for example, ingane, the child, ibuza umbuzo. The king, inkosi, ibuza umbuzo. Do you see? Indoda, the man, indoda, ibuza umbuzo. Now the plural, z. Izi is the prefix for those nouns. So, zibuza umbuzo, zibuza umbuzo, zibuza umbuzo. They are asking a question. So, I hope you've seen the difference between the first bit of the present tense, where we had the simple present tense that just had the ya, that wasn't really telling us anything, and then now this is the one that we use the most when we are giving information or detail in our sentence. Now let's do the negative of the present tense. The negative of the present tense takes from the very last one with which we just looked at. It takes from here and we then make the negative. We put an A before the phrase or sentence, and then we put an I at the end of it. We drop the last vowel A. So look at this. Angibuzi. Do you remember the last one we did? The affirmative one, not the negative one. The affirmative one said ngibuza. What's the difference? The A at the beginning and the I at the end. Angibuzi. I'm not asking. Angibuzi. Now this, you can actually make these sentences as they are and they are complete. But when you say the affirmative, ngibuza, you can't leave it there. You've got to add detail. So here we are. Angibuzi. I'm not asking. But I can also add angibuzi lutu. I'm not asking anything. Do you see? And then awubuzi. Awubuzi, you are not asking. Now listen to this awubuzi. It's got a W. Why? Because if we are now putting an A there and we are saying a, and then the next thing is a U, we can have those two vowels following each other in isiZulu or next to each other in isiZulu. We've got to put in something in there. Some cases we blend, but in these cases we don't blend when we are dealing with verbs. We don't blend, we put in a W. So awubuzi, awubuzi. That's when we have a U, we put in a W, awubuzi. And then the next one is he or she, akabuzi, akabuzi. He or she is not asking, akabuzi. The next one is ba, which is they. We are now saying they are not asking, ababuzi, ababuzi, ababuzi. Then followed with you all, anibuzi, anibuzi, anibuzi. You all are not asking. Then asibuzi, asibuzi, asibuzi. We are not asking. And then ayibuzi. Those are nouns that are starting with in and im. So ayibuzi. Why do we have a Y? The same as when we had awubuzi. Same thing. We can now have two vowels following each other in isiZulu. It's either we blend the vowels, or in case of verbs, we put in a consonant between them. And this consonant is going to be Y because we have an I there. When we have a U, we put in a W. When we have an I, we put in a Y. So ayibuzi. So ingane ayibuzi. Indoda ayibuzi. Inkosi ayibuzi. Inkosikazi ayibuzi. Do you see? Ayibuzi. Now the plural z, they. Nouns that start with I, Z, I, or I, Z, I. Easy. Azibuzi. 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 They are not asking.
Mngani, I can improve your Zulu language skills, but what I cannot do is improve this channel without your help. Please subscribe.
Next, now we are doing the future tense, the affirmative of this very same verb, buza. Ngizobuza. Do you see what we've put in there in the middle column? We've put in a zo. Zo. That's it. That is how we can tell that this is future tense. So, ngizobuza. This is I will ask or I am going to ask. Do you hear? So, ngizobuza umbuzo. Ngizobuza umbuzo. I am going to ask a question or I will ask a question. Now, we can easily leave this and on some ngizobuza and leave it there. It's just fine. I'll ask. But we can also add to it as well and say ngizobuza umbuzo. So we can do it both ways. And then for you, you are going to ask or you will ask uzobuza umbuzo. Uzobuza umbuzo. Uzobuza umbuzo. And he and she, uzobuza umbuzo. Uzobuza umbuzo. Uzobuza umbuzo. He or she is going to ask a question or he or she will ask a question. The next one is they. Bazobuza umbuzo. Bazobuza umbuzo. Bazobuza umbuzo. They will or they are going to ask a question. Sizobuza. Sizobuza. Sizobuza umbuzo. We will ask a question or we are going to ask a question. Nizobuza. Nizobuza. Nizobuza umbuzo. You all are going to ask a question. You all will ask a question. Izobuza. Izobuza. Izobuza umbuzo. He or she or it is going to ask a question. Zizobuza. Zizobuza. Zizobuza umbuzo. They will or they are going to ask a question. Now let's make this negative. Do you see we were saying zo to say will or going to? Now we are wanting to say will not or are not going to. Slight change of that zo. We now say zu. Z-U or Z-U. And the other thing that we do change is we put in an a at the beginning of our phrase. So it's going to be angizubuza. Angizubuza. I'm not going to ask. I will not ask. Angizubuza. Do you hear that? Angizubuza. Now, this tense, the negative of it, is actually not commonly used by people. People tend to just shy away from it because they don't hear it very well when it's being said. So they choose to just say ngeke ngibuze. Ngeke ngibuze, which is saying no, I won't ask. So it's a cop-out in a way, but it's also acceptable because it's correct. It's good grammar. So fine, but you need to know this, so I am going to share it with you. Angizubuza, I will not ask. Awuzubuza, you will not ask. Akazubuza, she or he will not ask. Awuzubuza, 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 you will not ask. Akazubuza, 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 he or she will not ask. Abazubuza. 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 They will not ask, or they are not going to ask. Anizubuza. 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 You all are not going to ask. You all will not ask. Asizubuza. 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 We are not going to ask. We will not ask. Asizubuza. Ayizubuza. 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 Inkosi ayizubuza. The king is not going to ask. Azizubuza. 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 They will not ask. And let's now do the affirmative in the past tense. This is the recent past, not remote past, something that happened like more than 2 years ago. It's recent past. So, note the change now. From this, the only change is the last vowel of the verb. We've removed the A from Buza and put in an E. Now it's suddenly past tense, but it's past tense because of the tone. If you don't stress the tone, then it's no longer past tense. If you now suddenly say ngibuze, that's saying ask me. But if you are saying ngibuze, that's I asked. But it's incomplete. You've got to say something else. Just the same as the present tense that we were working on, that if you are now saying ngibuza, you must then add something. Now in this case as well, ngibuze umbuzo, so I asked the question. Or ngibuze uayanda, I asked Ayanda. Did you hear that? Ngibuze uayanda. Ngibuze umbuzo. Do you hear that A at the end? Ubuze umbuzo. Ubuze umbuzo. Ubuze umbuzo. Ubuze umbuzo. You asked a question. Ubuze umbuzo. Ubuze umbuzo. Ubuze umbuzo. He or she asked a question. Babuze umbuzo. Babuze umbuzo. Babuze umbuzo. They asked a question. Nibuze umbuzo. Nibuze umbuzo. Nibuze umbuzo. Not nibuze umbuzo. Be very careful with that tone, my friend, how you where you enunciate and how you enunciate. When you say nibuze umbuzo, that is an instruction. You must ask a question. You see? So, sibuze umbuzo. Sibuze umbuzo. We asked a question. Sibuze umbuzo. Ibuze umbuzo. Ibuze umbuzo. Ibuze umbuzo. That's he or she or it asked a question. And then the last one is zibuze umbuzo. Zibuze umbuzo. Zibuze umbuzo. They asked a question. So those are nouns with the prefix easy. Now let's do the negative of these and say I did not. Not I asked, but I did not ask. So, angibuzanga. Let's look at that. Angibuzanga. At the beginning, we are putting a, just like we did for the present tense, just like we did for the future tense. A in everything. And so, of course, you remember when then we have an I, then we'll put I. And then if we have a you, we'll put au. And then if it's just he or she, we say aka. So yes, now let's go ahead and do this. Angibuzanga. And then after that, at the end, the suffix, we put anga. Anga. We have two parts. If you are coming from an English background, you're thinking did not. You see, so it's two parts of the question. So, angibuzanga. Angibuzanga, I did not ask. Awubuzanga, 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 you did not ask. Akabuzanga, 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 she did not ask, he did not ask. Ababuzanga, 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 they did not ask. Anibuzanga, 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 you all did not ask. So that's why I went ahead and did as I pleased, because, well, come on. Anyway, asibuzanga, asibuzanga, asibuzanga. So we did not ask. And ayibuzanga, ayibuzanga, ayibuzanga. So he or she or it did not ask. So if we are saying the young man did not ask, insizwa ayibuzanga. And azibuzanga, 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 they did not ask. So anything that has the prefix izi, azibuzanga. So my friend, I hope that you see how it changes. The verb stays almost the same. You can still see it there. It just changes slightly from present tense to present tense negative to future tense negative, past tense negative. So I'm hoping that this will help you. I think let me do a couple of more so that you can just see the differences. And I think the most important one of those is going to be the verb ya. Let me do that, the verb ya, which means to go, because it's so tiny. It's just 2 letters, 1 syllable. So it will help, I think. I believe it will help. Yeah, I do. I believe it will help.
Mngani, thank you for watching. If you found this lesson helpful, please leave a comment. Don't forget, you can take my course at zululessons.com.